The Oddballs of Nature, the curious world of crabs. One of nature's most bizarre and fascinating creatures lives in the shadowy shallows of the ocean floor and the muddy edges of tropical mangroves, scurrying across rocks washed by the tide or peeking out of sandy holes. You've probably seen them before, maybe dodging your toes on the beach or peeking out from under a rock, but crabs are more than just amusing crustaceans with sideways walks and snappy claws. They're ancient, diverse, adaptive, and occasionally just plain weird. With more than 6,700 species known to science and likely many more still undiscovered, crabs are among the most widespread and successful marine animals on Earth. Their sideways movement, expressive eye stalks, and occasionally oversized pincers that give the impression that they are always prepared for a bar fight are all undeniably charming and comical aspects of their behavior. However, underneath that cartoonish exterior is a complex biological story about survival, evolution, disguise, and sometimes even cross-dressing. Yes, we'll get to that. Let's start with the basics. Because they are crustaceans, crabs belong to the same family as shrimp, barnacles, and lobsters. They have a hard exoskeleton, 10 legs, yes, those front claws count, and a body that's evolved over millions of years into an armor-plated tank. Crabs, unlike many other marine animals, don't just run away from predators. Instead, they count on hiding, digging, fighting, or just becoming too tough to eat. Some have the ability to regrow limbs, while others can live both underwater and on land, adjusting to environments as diverse as mountain streams and deep-sea vents. Of course, the sideways walk that crabs perform is one of the most well-known behaviors. Contrary to popular belief, crabs aren't incapable of moving forward. It's just that their joints and leg structure make sideways movement faster and more efficient. If you were to attempt to sprint in a straight line with your knees permanently locked in the sideways position, you would probably also take the crab route. Crabs also come in all shapes and sizes. The pea crab, the smallest species of crab, is barely larger than a sesame seed. The Japanese spider crab, which is the largest arthropod in the world and has leg spans that can exceed 12 feet, is at the other end of the scale. Imagine something with that kind of reach lurking on the ocean floor. It looks more like a nightmare from a sci-fi movie than a real animal. And yet, it's very real and very much a part of our planet's rich underwater ecosystem. Despite their tough guy appearance, crabs are incredibly sensitive animals. Their eyes, which sit on movable stalks, give them a wide field of vision. Their antennae can detect chemical changes in the water, helping them find food or detect danger. Some species have even been shown to experience pain and stress, which has sparked debates about how to treat seafood in a humane way. Crabs aren't just sea bugs. They're complex, intelligent in their own way, and deeply entwined with human culture, cuisine, and mythology. Take, for example, the coconut crab, the largest land-dwelling arthropod. These guys can crack open coconuts with their massive claws, climb trees, and are known to steal shiny objects from campsites. They're also rumored to have scavenged the remains of Amelia Earhart, although that's likely more folklore than fact. Still, on a tropical island, the thought of a 3-foot-long crab dragging your camera away is enough to make you sleep with one eye open. Crabs aren't just creatures of the sea or the beach. They are illustrative. Cancer, or the crab, is a zodiac sign in astrology that represents people who were born between June 21st and July 22nd. In many cultures, crabs symbolize protection, emotion, and the cyclical nature of life. This may have been inspired by their molting process, in which they shed their old shell in order to grow, or by their soft interior and hard exterior. That molting process is one of the most vulnerable times in a crab's life. Until the new shell hardens, they're basically soft-shelled snacks for predators. And speaking of soft shells, that's another way crabs have made their way into our lives: food. Delicacies include snow crabs, blue crabs, Dungeness crabs, and king crabs. In many countries, crab meat is considered a luxury. Soft-shell crabs, harvested right after they molt, are particularly prized for their tender texture and sweet taste. In the U.S., Maryland is famous for its blue crabs, especially in the Chesapeake Bay area, where crab feasts and Old Bay seasoning are practically a religion. But eating crab isn't just about taste. It's a ritual. In addition to a few beers and patience, picking through a crab shell requires skill. It's not fast food, it's slow, communal eating. Cracking open a claw, removing a perfect piece of meat, and dipping it in butter or vinegar is a satisfying experience. Crab boils, crab cakes, crab bisque, the culinary world owes a lot to these creatures. However, despite the many ways in which humans enjoy eating crabs, we are also becoming a greater threat to them. Climate change is warming oceans and altering crab habitats. Pollution, overfishing, and ocean acidification, which affects their ability to form strong shells, are pressing concerns. Many species, like horseshoe crabs, which aren't true crabs but close relatives, are declining due to habitat loss and medical harvesting. Interestingly, biomedical research tests for bacterial contamination in vaccines and other injectable drugs using horseshoe crab blood. So yes, crabs are helping us stay healthy, literally. Crabs are social creatures despite their bizarre biological makeup. Some species are solitary and territorial, but others, like fiddler crabs, engage in elaborate displays and group behaviors. Male fiddler crabs each have one large and one small claw. They use that big claw not just for fighting but also for waving, a courtship gesture designed to impress the ladies. It's part dance, part flexing, part duel. If crabs had a dating app, it'd be full of blurry selfies of claws and dramatic side stances. Then there are decorator crabs, creatures that pick up bits of algae, sponges, and even small animals to stick on their shells for camouflage. It's like underwater fashion, part survival tactic, part expression. Some species are so well disguised you'd never know they were there until they moved. Hermit crabs, on the other hand, don't make their own shells, rather, they borrow shells from dead snails and trade them up as they get bigger. Hermit crabs frequently form a kind of housing queue, waiting for a new, larger shell to become available. They'll even fight over the best ones. In captivity, providing a variety of shells is crucial to their survival and comfort. In many ways, crabs are an evolutionary success story. They have existed for more than 200 million years and have independently developed crab-like forms multiple times through a process called carcinization, according to scientists. That's right, evolution seems to love turning creatures into crabs. It has occurred so frequently that it has developed into something resembling a biological parody. Eventually, everything transforms into a crab. This demonstrates how practical their flat, armored, mobile, and adaptable body plan is. From tidal pools to deep-sea trenches, crabs have managed to colonize just about ever.